guys, welcome back to the channel. My name's Tanner with BuyFixFlip, and today I'm going to be taking you through my 1952 Willys M38 Kubota diesel swap. Again, this time I'm going to be answering all the burning questions you guys had and taking my time, slowing down and explaining everything a lot. It seems like there's a ton of interest in a Kubota swap, a ton of interest from Willys guys, Samurai guys, I mean everybody. A lot of CJ guys as well. So I kind of wrote down my most asked questions, and I'm going to take you through and answer those one by one. So let's get into it. All right, I'm going to go from level of least importance up. A lot of people were commenting that my front clicking could have been because of my locker. But what I guess I didn't say in the last video was I only installed a rear locker. I did not install a locker in the front. So the clicking, I'm 99% sure, is coming from this worn locking hub. I have a whole other M38 at the house. I'll be swapping the hubs out and verifying. So that's one thing quickly out of the way. The second thing is people are commenting on my belt squeal, telling me to buy a certain belt and do this, do that. It's squeaking right now kind of by design. I don't have it as tight as I could because when I was on a trail, I noticed that it was starting to fray my radiator hose, so I loosened it a little bit. I tried to zip tie the hose over, but it was kind of like just in a weird spot, so I cut the zip tie and just loosened the belt a little bit. So you can see I have plenty of play in the belt. I'm going to be buying about a 1/2 inch smaller belt and going from there. So what does this thing get for MPG? That was a big question that I got a lot. And I will tell you here, I do not have a working odometer, so I cannot tell you exactly. I can tell you off of Googling, on a Google map, from point A to point B, how far I drove in the day, and it doesn't take into account idling or anything like that, but it's getting between 30 and 33 MPG. So I can't tell you that much. I know $20 worth of diesel gets you a whole heck of a lot of miles, and I could probably make it get a little bit better if I turned down my fuel screw tuning, and that'd probably make it smoke a little less out of the back, maybe lower the boost a tiny bit, lower the power a little bit, but I would get better fuel mileage. To me, it's not worth it. I'd rather have the I'd rather have the power. So fuel mileage is between 30 33. Another common question was, how much does it cost? Where can I get one? Who should I contact? How much does it cost is the engine itself ranges from $700 to about $3,000, maybe $3,500 if you're buying a really, really nice low hour unit. But I've seen some people post recently them up for about $700, and I want to say that I paid between $1,500 and $2,000 for mine. I don't exactly remember, but I did get the whole reefer unit. And I bought 2 of them, one for me, one for my buddy Mike. We both did the swap, and we were able to scrap out the rest of the reefer and sell it. Also, we were able to hear them run, see how many hours were on them, etc. before we bought them. I want to say that mine had maybe 36 to 38,000 hours. I think it was somewhere around there, and his had about the same. And again, a lot of people commented that these can't last that many hours. Mine had 36, 38,000 and it's ripping. A guy in my last comments said he has 30,000 miles on his swap, still drives great. And again, if you head over to the Facebook page, the Kubota Willys support group or Kubota Willys swap, something like that, there's plenty of actual V2203 carrier spec mechanics that'll tell you how long these things run. So that's kind of how much they cost, give or take. So I would say from $700 to $3,500, $700 to $3,500. How much does the adapter kit cost? That's about $3,000. So that comes with 99.9% of the things that you're going to need to put this engine in your flat fender. So you're spending $3,000 to do that, plus $700 to $3,500 on the motor. So best case, $3,700. Worst case, $6,500. Is it worth the swap? To me, it's a very, very loud yes. Again, I've had probably 15 to 20 flat fenders over the years. I've had some that ran great, some that ran poorly, some that had a lot of blow by, but I did get a lot of information on rebuilding one, because when I got this M38 off of a guy in his 90s in West Virginia named Harold, who was actually recently passed, so rest in peace, Harold. He told me that the motor that was in it smoked a little bit. And after looking into rebuild costs, I just couldn't, you know, make it make sense to me. I was anywhere from $1,500 to $3,500. And a used motor, you're taking somebody else's word, and it costs almost just as much. So Seth, shout out Seth at Red Eye Cafe Garage on YouTube. He has a Facebook page called Diesel Willys Support Group, and he put a Volkswagen TDI engine in his Jeep. Me and my buddy Mike both loved the way it sounded. We loved the drivability of it. He asked us to go on like a 50-60 mile round trip, road trip. And at the time I had a GPW that I just didn't trust to make it that far without overheating. So he was definitely a big driver on why I went diesel. After doing some more research, I just realized basically Kubota, less wiring, Volkswagen, more wiring. Kubota, because I have an M38, I didn't have to modify my floor at all and my firewall. With the TDI, I would have had to. Again, that's just an M38 specific thing because you have a bolt-in floor. My buddy Mike, who has a CJ2A, did have to modify his firewall and floor a tiny bit. But, so that's price, where to get it. Another big question I got was on the idle. So about here is where I was idling before. And let me show you what that looks like. Here's a digital tachometer. Okay, so that's about 1,100, 1,200. So the highest that was $1,299. You see how smooth everything is? How this isn't doing anything? Now watch me lower it a tiny bit. You ready? Wait. I don't know if you can hear it in video, but the whole body is vibrating more. The hood's vibrating more. There's a rattle that comes and goes with this. And this right here is about $730 RPMs, 728. So that's really about what you get. You get a 700 RPM that shakes the hood, shakes the whole body, shakes everything kind of a decent amount. And I'm telling you, with one little touch, boom, you're up at about 1100. So those are kind of my options. Again, you see how smooth everything is. The second you go to lower it, again, look. So these are your options. So I chose the 1100 RPMs because it was less shaky. I'll keep it at 700 for a while and let you know how I like it. This probably sounds nice and low, but I don't know if you can see my GoPro in here. Shifters. Everything's just shaking more. So, you know. So that's why I had the idle where it was. That's my explanation to everybody who is a diesel expert and a Kubota expert on YouTube. So I'll cover in this also tires, electric fan, and top speed. The tires are 32-inch by 10 by 15 UTV tires. These are Super ATV Warrior tires, non-DOT approved. They're directional. I bought them on Facebook Marketplace for $100 for all four, and they were already very used and abused. They've got 4,000 miles on them right now. As you can see, they're not lasting, I mean, perfectly, but I can still tell you that this tread is so grippy. I mean, I don't regret these tires at all. I think they were the best $100 I've ever spent. So that's tires. Electric fan versus manual fan. A guy commented saying, if you're so worried about your mechanical engine, why not have a mechanical fan? The reason I don't is because A, it'll rob a little bit of power, which I have power to spare, so that's not a huge deal. B, it was kind of hard for me to source. And C, when I flip on this electric fan, I assume you guys can hear it rips. And engine does not get hot ever. I was gonna wire in a thermostat, and I still am. I have it at the house. Just never got a chance to do it during the summer. But if I'm on the trail for 45 minutes, I'll look down, it'll be at 150 degrees without the fan on. I can flip the fan on, keep driving it hard as can be, and it'll go back to 100 degrees. There's no bad head gasket. The thermostat works. I mean, I can drive it hard for a couple hours, flip the fan on the whole time, and I can come and pop the radiator cap and stick my finger in the coolant and have it be fine. You know, just lukewarm, warm, 110, 120 degrees. So the engine just has so much oil, you know, 2 gallons or whatever, and it's such a small little engine that, you know, it just doesn't get too hot. So I know there's probably some YouTube experts that are going to say that's terrible, but to me, it's been great. Top speed is 52 miles per hour. No matter what way I cut it, no matter, you know, how I do it, I have my throttle limited right here to 2,950 RPMs. And the 2,950 with 32-inch tires, my 538 gears with my T90 transmission, it equals 52 miles an hour on the road. I'm gonna try to download an app while I'm out here that can show you how fast I'm going on the way home. But that kind of, you know, that kind of sums the miles per hour up. If I put the overdrive on, like I said, I have one at the house ready to smack in, I could probably cruise at 55 a lot better, which I probably will end up doing, but not completely sold on doing that yet because I don't know if I want to keep the T90. I have a T98 at the house that I might want to swap in instead. The T98 has a 6-something-to-1 first gear, so a lot better at creeping and crawling and stuff. So yeah, a lot of people also said they wanted to see some outside driving shots, and I'm just one guy, so it's going to be harder to do. But let me try to get a GoPro set up or get a phone set up on a tripod and, you know, see what we can get. Hey guys, Future Tanner here to tell you that I did download the speedometer app. It recorded in 720p, so the whole time it was shaking on the way home because I couldn't use any stabilization. I'm not going to put that in here because I'm going to save you guys a headache. It's very bad to look at, but 50 to 52 miles per hour is what it said, back and forth. So take with that, you know, take a grain of salt, I guess, with that. Also, where I went to go record to get some outside shots, there was some construction work going on, and I don't really have a ton of property around here, so I'm going to include some clips of me at an off-road park and of me in -8-degree weather the other day with -35 wind chills or whatever they were, doing some donuts in the snow. I'm going to also include a couple clips of Mike, my buddy's Jeep, who we built ours together. He has a Kubota diesel on his as well. And I'm going to drop Mike's YouTube in the description below. Be sure to give him a follow and, you know, go check him out. But thank you guys so much for all the love, support, comments. The channel has been blowing up lately. My last video got 120, almost 120,000 views, and that is absolutely insane. And thank you guys so much. So, you know, like, comment, subscribe, stick around for future videos. I've got some 240 stuff. I've got some 06 Tacoma stuff. I might have a sponsored video coming up. Who knows? And we'll go from there. Thanks, guys. See ya. Go. Hug that right. How do you stall it out? Stannis got a front locker, he should walk up. Sender.